Hey. Hello. Just talking with a really ignorant guy today. You notice I use the word ignorant and not the other word that starts with an STU about what's going on a few fronts, and known the guy for years. Not a bright guy. He said, "Well, I'm not going to worry about things I can't control." I said, "Well, you're completely missing the point. We're not talking about things that you can control. And we're not talking about worrying here. Do the same thing in chess. I'm not worried, and I used to be a chess champion in high school. Yeah, not that that matters at all. I haven't played chess in years. Last person I had to fight was, play chess with. As they say in Russian, igrash na shakhmaty, which means play at checkmate. That's what chess is called in Russian, the shakhmaty, which literally means checkmate. The game is called checkmate in Russian. There's this zit-faced kid, very, very geeky. I'll never forget the guy. I don't want to say his name even though I remember it. It's not worrying about things like 2 or 3 or 4 moves ahead in chess. It's all about seeing moves ahead in chess. This is the reason why computers are really, really, really good at chess. And they've beaten the absolute best grandmasters on Earth because it's all analytical. If this happens, then that, and if that happens, then this. If you're not worried about your opponent's move 2 or 3 moves ahead, and you can't control it. You can't say, hey, don't move that piece here, do this, do that. I mean, that doesn't work in chess. We're not talking about worrying or control. It's about knowing if this happens, I'm going to make contingencies, boom, boom, boom. So I keep encountering that, and it really is a type of hyperbolic ignorance. It's nothing to do with worry, and it has nothing to do with what you do or you don't control. It's knowing what can happen if you know what's going on. And anyway, I think I made my point on that. This is about what's going on. By the way, today alone, perpetual scammers. I had 2 people try to call about buying my home. I get sick of that. You can block the calls, but they have like literally unlimited millions of calls. Phone numbers that they could use to call you about your home, try to scam you, buy your home from you, offer you a low ball, because they're literally, and I've said this before, and you really don't get it, I'm very serious on this, and I've never heard anybody say it this way, but all these people that are trying to buy your property from you or anything else tangible, is what they're really saying is, are you broke yet? Are you broke yet? Are you broke yet? Are you broke yet? Every day. It's like, are you broke yet? And like little kids would, there's a TV line or a movie line or something, and the little kid would annoy this guy that runs the store yet. You want to sell it yet? The guy's like, I don't want to sell it. It's like a toy or something, and the kid really wants it. And he'd call every day, you want to sell it yet? And it's that same sort of thing. I was actually in Kroger's, which is a grocery store. I ripped this person verbally so loud that I had like 4 people in Kroger's. I shouldn't have even picked up the phone, but I had that today, and I had someone try to scam me on my phone. It was kind of a brilliant scam. I won't say what it is, but I mean, someone less intelligent, it would have worked on them. So they're working the averages, they're working the odds. It's kind of like if you have an inside line in Las Vegas, like maybe counting cars or something, that you can get ahead, and that's what these people are trying to do. They're trying to find, people of typical intelligence or lesser intelligence and take advantage of them. There's a movie, I'm not a fan of Jason Statham, by the way. It's actually got a lot of action in it. It's called The Beekeeper, and the whole movie's about that. The professional scammers, they call up people anonymously from these call centers and scam older people out of their life savings and whatnot. That's the whole premise of the movie. Of course, it's actually a really good movie action-wise. I got a call, woke me up this morning. I should have turned my phone off. Yes, I'm getting to the point here very quickly. And they scammed my mother's debit card info from who knows where, but they called me up on my phone line. I didn't give them any info, and I did look the person's number up while I was talking to them. And of course, you could spoof that. I said, did your mom order a telescope? Which, of course, she didn't. but I wouldn't give the guy any info until I looked him up, and I still didn't give him any info. Right now there's actually, and the point I'm trying to make is that there's skyrocketing fraud out there. I predicted this years ago. As people become more and more desperate, and they are becoming more and more desperate. I mean, big time, especially here in the United States, a lot of people's taxes are coming due. I basically owe 95% of every penny that I own to, the government. Yeah. Yeah, I know they're completely evil, and the real question is why are they interested in a broke peon like me and my money when they can spontaneously print it at will vis-a-vis the Fed? That's the, next time you run into an IRS person, say, excuse me, sir, why do you want my money when you can spontaneously print all of it and any of it at will? You know, it's a good question. I know the answer to that, but ask them that because it will certainly stump them. So there is skyrocketing fraud going on. I'm getting to the juicy bits here very quickly. I apologize. The fraud is absolutely off the hook. A lot of people, the 27%, as I mentioned this a week ago, have zero or less than zero negative balance in their bank account. 27% of Americans, that's basically 1 in 3. Almost. Absolutely unbelievable. 47% are right on the edge of completely collapsing. What this year's tax season will do to people is absolutely unfathomable. I can't imagine what it will be as they come due past April the 15th, and what they're going to do to people is start seizing property and whatnot. They're basically going to rob me of 95% of everything that I have. People are way more polarized than they've ever been. It's going to continue to get worse. You thought people were polarized now, and they are radically polarized. But this idea that some of the people in Hydra and the global cabal have of a global citizen, and there's no such thing as a global citizen. This ideation in this fantasy world, they can't accept the world the way it is. They can't accept natural order the way it is. They just want something to happen that should not happen. It will make things way, way worse. The person that destroyed Anheuser Company, you know that person? I was watching the video, and she said, well, we want to reinvent it. It's like, she was basically saying, we want to take something that works and break it and reinvent it. This is a mega-billion-dollar company, and they hired somebody who's extremely unintelligent, and it's kind of like what these cabal people, I have all the money in the world, you know, we're going to take what's working and we're going to break it. And we're going to take out, a lot of chess pieces, a lot of pawns on the board, let you figure out what that means. They remind me of this person that was hired to run, the ad department of Anheuser, a mega-billion-dollar company, and, wrecked it overnight. It's like you're taking what's working and what's making like a lot of money, and you're wrecking it. Okay, let me know how that works out for you. Fujifilm kind of did the same thing to me a couple years ago. People are like, why aren't you talking about Fujifilm anymore? It's like, well, I made the company millions of dollars, did free tech support, wrote a free book of help on Fujifilm, and they wouldn't even let me borrow the cameras. And I get it, I look a certain way, I have a certain personality, but the truth is, that's what people liked about me, is because I would give honest reviews about things, and if it was great, I would say it was great, and if it was junk, I would say it was junk. And I never asked them for free gear, never even once, nor did I get any, except to give away in photo contests. But people, why don't you do in photo, all corporations are evil. But like, listen, I made this company countless millions of dollars. I never asked them for anything. And in exchange for asking them for early previews of gear so that I could review it, they said no. It's like, I'm making you millions of dollars and I'm not asking for free gear, just to borrow it. I mean, that is the ultimate insult. There is almost no higher insult than that. I mean, there are a few that would be tragic, but to answer that question, everybody keeps, pounding the comment section about. That's the answer to that. And look in my eyes and tell me if I'm lying. Of course, I'm not. Right now, we have a multi-pronged destabilization that's actually occurring, both economy and work and AI to destroy jobs. I actually just talked to a large company, asked them about tech support. I won't say what company that is. And they even have it on the front page of their website. The things are going to change here. This is going to happen, that's going to happen. It's AI. Basically, they're removing a large percentage of their workforce, which is going to make them a bunch of money, and they don't have to pay AI except for the electricity that it actually feeds off of. But we do have a multi-pronged destabilization in the world, and I'm sure you already know that, but it's actually getting worse. People right now are broke and desperate. I'm actually seeing it all over the place. And this is, this town, the city, it's not a town, it's a city, is very well off. In dire economic situations, this town always does great. I mean, I could see how critical it's getting out there. Crime is going to go chain reaction critical. It's going to get worse in a lot of places that you wouldn't expect. Well, sure, it's okay in Chicago and LA and New York and Jersey and whatnot. No, I am hearing and seeing it occurring in places you think it would not happen. These people know that the cops are not going to show up. They're not going to get jail time. The things that are actually happening now more, and this is not hyperbole. I'm seeing it here locally in places where you would not want to commit crime. This is Kentucky. You really don't get away with stuff here, but I'm seeing it skyrocket even here. There will be borderline martial law, if not martial law. People will cry out for help, and they'll be offered FedCoin. FedCoin has been put into place as an answer to a problem that they have created. You're going to make a problem, which is what the Gov is really good at. You're going to make a problem to usher in a very, very terrible solution. Even Chairman, and I have no respect for the guy, Federal Chairman Powell, said, his exact words, that this cannot be sustained. What's going on right now, it cannot be sustained. He didn't say we're going to fix it. He said this is unsustainable. His exact words, and I have no respect for the guy. There's only two ways out of this, and I don't think anybody's listening, and we're seeing both. They're either going to present one of the two, if not both, because that's the only way out of this banker-created and government-created Uber fiasco, and that is a full-on kinetic interaction. I think you know what kinetics mean. Pew, pew, pew. Boom. That's what kinetics means. I'm not going to say the word because everything is always listening. It's either going to be full-on kinetic and or FedCoin, i.e. CBDC. That's the only way this can be reset. The endless debt and the endless funny money that's out there, even worse than monopoly money, because even monopoly money is actually tangible. You could lay your hands on it. This is way worse than monopoly money. You know the ratio of banks lend out money to people? They take in $1 and they lend out 10. I don't know if you knew that or not. They're trying to vie for, and I've been talking about this for some time, is they want it so deeply, so sincerely. They want a complete end of financial privacy for absolutely everybody. What burns their bottoms utterly and totally is the movement of no paper trail money and or assets. It burns them. I can assure you of this 100%. The Gov and the IRS know full well, full stop, how much money out there, I'm just going to say out there, is moving that has no paper trail behind it, and it burns their bottom. They want to end any all form of tangible currency for transactions. The complete end of financial privacy. The absolute, total, complete end of it. This is what they want. Well, it's the top 3 of their list. They want to eliminate a lot of entities. I'm going to use the word entities. They want complete end of financial privacy. Debt-based monetary system must, and it will collapse. A lot of people, by the way, are making predictions for early April. I'd like to say, but I'm not allowed to say. Go look it up on the internet. Just type in April 2024. A lot of people are predicting some big movement in April of this year. I'm not going to illuminate what that means. You could find out on your own. Government-run emergent technology, i.e. AI, to run the IRS and watch trends that each and every sale of absolutely every living two-legged hairless ape on this earth is doing. Purchases, income, sales. The IRS is going to be run by AI. When you make everything traceable via FedCoin and there's no tangible assets, everything will have a paper trail, a digital paper trail, which is perfect, which is what they want. When you have, here's 2 fingers, 2 hands. This is how it's going to work, 100% this is going to happen. When you have eliminated all no paper trail exchange of money, sales, so on and so forth, what that lets you do is replace most of, nearly all of the IRS with the AI. You will just be sent a bill. You'll either be automatically taken out from your income. You'll be offered a choice. I mean, you can either take it out monthly based on what your current movement of your digital coin is, or we could take it out at the end of the year in the case of your business. But you'll be sent a form. And that's how it's going to happen. When you remove all no paper trail money, this lets AI calculate your taxes for you. You don't even have to do it. Well, look, and they're going to present it like a cake with a cherry on top. Oh, you don't have to do your taxes anymore. You don't need any more tax preparing people. We are going to do it for you. Because absolutely every penny that moves into or out of your sphere of influence will be traced. We'll take care of your taxes for you. Don't worry about it, and we'll get it 100% right. You won't have to worry about it. You won't have to worry about your taxes. You'll know what they are. Each and every day you can see an update of what you owe, and we can automatically take it out, or you can take it out at the end of the year. That is going to happen. That's not my feeling or opinion or belief. That's exactly what they want. Elimination of all no paper trail movement of money, which is the total end of any and all forms of financial privacy. This filth, of course, is created by bankers and the tax and spend GOVT. Let you figure out what that is as if you didn't know. By the way, this just came out, I think like 72 hours ago. There's hard and fast proof now, a mountain of evidence, that the White House pressured Amazon, you know, the booksellers. Of course, they sell everything now other than books, but they also sell books. They started out selling books. They pressured Amazon, the Gov, pressured Amazon. There's no hearsay or rumor. Hard confirmed fact. The government pressured Amazon to stop selling books that were against the magic juice. Yeah. Isn't that neat? Isn't that kind of like a violation of the First Amendment? There's no government official or anybody at in Washington, D.C. that has any control over that, yet they're going to do it anyway. And they did do it. They pressured Amazon to stop selling and or promoting books, complete and total violation of the First Amendment. Any book that was written about e-book, physical book, that was against the magic juice. Yeah. I don't know what you think about that, but that just came out. I'll point out again to you that evil is composed of cowards that like to lurk in the dark. The same reason that 99.9% of fraud via the phone is via the phone and the internet is the same reason why the Gov, 999 times out of 1,000 anyway, doesn't show up at your door. It's either by mail, to seize your bank accounts, to seize your property. Everything is done in the shadows. So you'll get a few warnings in the mail. Nobody's going to show up. They'll just take it. This is how evil works. Evil is always has been, always will be composed of cowards. They're not going to show up. Well, that's great. I don't want to be showing up at my house and knocking on my door with a, gigantic battering ram because, I forgot to pay my my monies last year to the GOV. Like, don't worry about it. They're not going to show up. They'll just take it. Your bank account will be closed. Your property will be leaned against. And they don't have to show up. This is the definition of evil. That's the reason why, like I said, I had 3 phone calls today. Evil, that's the reason why the internet and the phone is so awesome to fraudsters. They work exactly the same way the GOV does. They're not going to show up because they're cowards. What are they going to do? Send out some sniveling doofus, in a 3-piece? Excuse me, sir, you made a mistake on your 1099 last year. Yeah. No. And soon they won't even have to have the people anonymously. AI is going to run it. AI will find out that you're $100 short last year, and you're going to pay that and a big fine on top of it, or we're going to seize your accounts and put a lien on your property. And if you think that is any kind of, worry, I mean, it's the opposite of that. IRS only one time in a million shows up. They do, just like evil people via the internet and your telephone, do their work in the shadows. Just like those people. Yeah, I was screaming The person today called me again about wanting to buy my house. You know the reason why they're trying to buy everybody's house? I'll give you less than one guess why. You're going to own nothing and be happy. You're going to be a renter. No, I'm not. I'm not going to be. I don't know if you noticed this or not, but it's getting worse and worse and worse, and I'm seeing it, and others of you are reporting to me that you're seeing it also. That half the world or more has completely turned into a tinfoil hat, a wackadoodle. Not like tinfoil hat like you're worried about what's going on, like crazy, literally, cuckoo. You have to watch out. I'm seeing so many people out there that are unhinged from reality. They're either doing one of two things. They're flipping out, or they're living in a micro-universe, which means they're living in a nutshell, sniffing their own tailpipe emissions, living in a fantasy world, you know, playing whatever sort of online game, you know, zoned out, completely detached from reality. Need to get more fresh air. You know I'm fat and out of shape behind the computer too much. At least I'm out there getting fresh air and walking. I was at the farm all day yesterday. I'm sore as heck from working on my friend's farm yesterday. Not my farm, my friend's farm. Working on it. Plenty of fresh air up there. Throwing logs in the fireplace. Setting up the solar panel array. Half or more of the world is literally unhinged, and it's increasing at a dreadful rate. And this isn't some sort of hyperbolic statement by myself. If you've got your eyes open, some people go through life like this. La 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 la. There are some extremely unintelligent people out there. They'll go to the grocery store, go shopping for some new clothes or used clothes or whatever. And they don't see anything because they get in their car and they just go to the store. And la 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 la. I'm not going to look at the person over there that's in a pink Speedo with a whirlybird propeller hat on. I'm just going to ignore the craziness. La 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 la. They go through life like this. I don't know what percentage that would be. I'll let you speculate. I'm thinking it's like about 40%, which is really, really high. You know, just like 20 years ago, like if someone was doing something really crazy, they would come up and say, "What's wrong with you? Are you okay? Do you need some medical attention? Should I call the hospital for you?" You know, because you're like sitting on the ground, you know, spinning around in circles like Curly Joe from the Three Stooges. Whoop, 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 whoop. You ever seen that? Curly Joe would lay sideways on the ground and he'd kick his heels and he'd spin around in circles. Oh, that person's crazy. It's just, you see it everywhere now, and people are just jaded to it. It's like, I saw that yesterday, I don't care. You know, I used to care about that 5 years ago, but now I don't care. It's like, hey, there's another crazy person over there. What's happening in Europe, and it's not being reported here in the United States at all, is that farmers are intentionally being crushed. What's going on in Ireland, France, Belgium, UK, Deutschland, on, and the Österreich, on and on and on is absolutely crazy. They are trying to destroy the food supply. This again, once again, is a multi-pronged destabilization. The economy, the food supply, work, AI, your taxes. I got my form back, of course. They're going to take 95% of everything I own. I mean, I worked about twice as hard last year as I worked the year prior, and of course I got my form back for what I owe the government, and I made just a hair less than half last year what I made the year prior. Just a hair less than half. So to emphasize the point, make sure that I wasn't being hyperbolic about it, I literally did work maybe not twice as hard, but harder, and made half as much. And I'm just thankful to be, you know, intelligent and wise and have multiple jobs. It's still not, I'm not trying to get ahead. I've said that many times and I literally mean it. Even the people that hate me know that fact. I'm not trying to get ahead, I'm just trying to keep my head afloat. Real estate, they're trying to make real estate ownership an absolute extreme luxury. This is what they want more than anything. They keep trying to buy my farm, they keep trying to buy my house. 9 times out of 10, I don't pick up the phone, but I did today, and I let them have it. This all reminds me of the movie line from V from Vendetta, and if you haven't seen the movie V for Vendetta, excuse me, then you've almost committed a movie heresy, because it's so worth watching. And the line from the movie is, if you're looking for someone to blame, you need to look no further than the mirror. There is just such an enormous percentage of people out there that these people, and it's getting worse, spineless people, they're so spineless. You're letting people that you never met, and you never will, dictate how you lead your life. You've never met these people, you don't know their name, and yet you, in your weakness, not referring to you specifically, but there's just an enormous amount, you're just letting them dictate and control your life. And it's not right on several fronts, including natural order. That would be like a polar bear in Alaska worried about what a honey badger in South Africa, thinks about how the polar bear should lead his life, what he should or shouldn't do, what he should or shouldn't buy. It's completely ridiculous. Reductio ad absurdum. It's completely obnoxiously ridiculous, and yet that's how much of humanity, especially the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and basically every country in Europe, except for, I think, Czechoslovakia and Poland, they're actually holding out. And interestingly enough, Russia. Tell me what you make of that. But this is what's happening, and it's going to continue to increase, and this is what is going to happen. Much of this is already happening, but it's ramping up. People have become jaded to it. And when people become jaded to things, that means you can ramp it up. We can do more of this. People stop watching what we're doing on this front a few years ago. They're completely jaded, so what we can do, we can take the dial and turn it up! You know this is true. Even if you can't stand me one way or another, it's not important. Facts, logic, and wisdom is important. Not your feelings, not your opinions, not your beliefs, not mine either. They love this fact. This is the perfect stage on so many fronts, of which they're working on those fronts already and have. Nobody's watching this anymore. Nobody cares. They've been squawking about it for years, but now everybody's tired of it. This is what every government on the planet does. They wait till people get tired of this topic because they got the attention span of a mosquito, and then they ratchet it up. Meow. And then nobody notices. They notice like level 3. But if you ramp it up from level 3 to level 8, nobody notices. Let me repeat that again for you. Everybody noticed when they turned it from 0 to 3? Everybody went crazy. How dare you? When you got sick of it, then they ramped it up from 3 to 8 or from 3 to 10, and then nobody noticed and nobody cared. And that's how they're going to work it. And that's exactly what they're doing. I assure you of that with 100% certainty. Tell me what you think. I read every comment. Lux Evertas.